welcome to Active Citizens Parliament. My name is Sharon Enemchuku, and I know you thought we were leaving and, not coming at all after I said bye-bye till next morning, but you can tell that I was in a different mood and ready to go and eat birthday rest. Well, last, we have one more program before I leave the studio, and joining me in the studio, I have with me Mr. Daniel Sacramento for the first time on Active Citizens Parliament. So you do a round of applause.
You say, Active Citizen Parliament.
Yes. Oh, you've only had a morning call. It's the first time I have, so we're going to do a round of applause. Welcome, sir. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well.
You are doing well, all right. And of course, I don't need to introduce her. Ifeoma Oji, nice to have you both in the studio as always. Now, going straight to the stories that we have for today, Daniel Bwala, former Atiku spokesperson, has sparked controversy by claiming Peter Obi doesn't represent true Labour Party values. He accuses Obi of lacking ideological consistency, a move many see as early political jostling ahead of 2027. Meanwhile, in Kaduna, Governor Uba Sani says his administration will complete all ongoing projects without borrowing a kobo. He promises to rely on internally generated revenue and budget discipline, a bold stance in a time of rising state debt. And before we wrap up on those two stories, we're also going to touch on the fact that there is a trending viral video where the APC gubernatorial candidate for Anambra State was being harassed by his debtors. They say he owes them the amount of 1 billion naira, and they even went ahead as holding a protest today in Abuja. It's a whole drama going on. But let's start first with the first story and what Daniel Bwala has come to accuse Peter Obi. Now, my question to you, let me start from you, Ifeoma. He has come out to say that Peter Obi has not made any philanthropic contributions, that all of those things were just exaggerated, everything we hear has been exaggerated, and that he claims that Peter Obi has 10 million naira and all of that. Now, based off of what we know from his time as governor and from the things that we have seen him personally handle, how true do you think his claim is?
I actually think they should dash that man sense.
So let's have your
Yes, they should dash him some sense, because at this point, I would not want to say that he does not have sense. I don't want to use that word on him, but they should just give him free sense. Talking about Peter Obi, we've seen a lot, of people testifying to, how generous he is. And I'm like, how would you even come out with all these testimonies from various universities that he has visited? Even the, I think there was an insurgency or somewhere that he visited the community, and he actually commiserated with, the victims, and he probably gave out, some funds to them. And I'm like, how would somebody with so many, all these, apart from the attributes with so many testimonies coming from people, and somebody is coming out to tell that all those things are just, they are fake, it does not, it's not true. I think they should dash him sense. That's number one. And then number two, talking about the fact that he does not represent, what Labour Party stands for, because I think Labour Party was originally, formulated to represent, workers and, unions. But according to what he's saying now is that Peter Obi is not standing by the party. But I am like, I see Peter Obi as somebody that is more like a driving force for the youth. You could see that the youth and the middle class are supporting him massively. It is not about workers. If you talk about whether he is supporting workers or unions, what about the greater good that he wants to do for Nigerians? Is he not still covering, the workers and those unions that this man is citing that he is, not doing? He is basically doing that.
All right.
So I don't see a reason why somebody will come out. So
if one is saying we should dash Bwala sense, what is Mr. Daniel Sacramento saying?
Well, it's quite unfortunate. Number one, Daniel Bwala is not of the same class with Peter Obi. Although he claims he's a politician, and you have seen the type of politician that he is. He has no pre-degree to judge P2B.
Exactly.
He has never been a governor, and he has always been not even a spokesperson. He has always been people who jumps from one orgas to another organ to just go and to do gossip. That's what Daniel Bwala have been doing, because he has no reason to back out from Atiku and jumped to Tinubu. And when he was with when he was with Atiku, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, he was against Tinubu's candidates, all manners kinds of things. So there are people we shouldn't take serious, and that is one. Exactly. If there is anybody we shouldn't take serious, should be number one. I don't want to call the other people that are with him, because when a grown-up man who has family talks from the two sides of his mouth, it's a very terrible situation. And that is why the country is the way it is. Because we are not learning anything. The youths are not learning anything from them. That is the truth, because these people are only interested in their stomach adjustment program. That's exactly what they do.
Stomach adjustment program, interesting.
Exactly. So, coming to say that P2B is not a labor...
does not have labor
ideology or whatever. I wonder what parameter he used
to validate
such, to come out to say P2B is not he doesn't have labor ideology. And maybe he has. And if he had been, I wonder why he has not been the NLC president.
Or even joined Labour Party to
represent well. The truth is that there are people we shouldn't take serious. Somebody like him, I won't listen to him.
Okay.
He's not a serious person. And he cannot be a match with
at all.
With P2B.
When P2B was the vice president aspirant to Alhaji Abubakar, this guy is just a spokesperson that writes for them. So how can he come and join issues with
the big players?
Yes. So it's laughable.
All right.
It's laughable.
And I'm seeing this is more like this man is actually trying to tarnish P2B's reputation.
No, that's what
you think he has the capacity? You think he has the ability?
That's what he's being trained for.
The truth is
so he's not doing it by his own of his own.
No, that's what he's being trained for.
The truth is that he cannot even do that, because Nigerians as a whole have seen what P2B want to do for Nigerians. P2B is more like representing the 1% of the 1% Nigerians that are agitating every day for a better Nigeria, and that is what gave birth to the rise of P2B. So it's not even about
Daniel will argue with you. Mr. Daniel, he will say that Daniel Bwala will say that no, it's not your Daniel, because he will say that when that happened, why a lot of youths came out to support P2B was that P2B was riding on the anger of the youth. That the youths were angry at the system, at Nigeria, and what is currently going on in our economy. And that, so Mr. P2B now sees that opportunity to buy the heart or the conscience of Nigerians.
No, let me tell you, when all these aspirants came on board, Atiku was there, P2B was there, Bwala Tinubu was there. When we look at somebody who had better option, who really wants to change the ideology of how Nigerians are being perceived, is P2B. That is the truth. Other people have business-minded ventures, agendas. That's what they want to do. And you could see where we are being driven to. You understand?
Yeah.
It's for us to see the difference. Once again, I want to rightfully say, even P2B will not even want to join issues with Daniel, because it's like a governor, joining issues with an SA he employed. It looks childish.
There's no level.
There's no level, because this guy just talking. He has never been in labor.
I'm telling you.
I've never seen him in labor. He claims he's a journalist. He's been a journalist. NUJ. That's what he claims he is. But any man who sees the truth and keep running around it just because of some stipends you're being paid, then that person is not worthy to be discussed.
Okay, and him even saying that, you know, he does not represent the workers. You know how many times P2B have used his platform to campaign for the rights of, you know, the workers, the people that are retired, seeking for payment of their pensions and their gratuity. Do you know how many times he has done that?
You know that he's saying, another thing is saying P2B goes to do abracadabra, fake stuff. Well, maybe he should bring out the videos of the ones he has done.
Exactly. What has he done?
Let it bring out the ones that he has done.
People's testimony. You know, another
thing that we will be able to compare and know.
So, Mr. Daniel, you are saying now that even P2B should not respond to this man.
He's going to be childish.
Yes. No. But what about Labour Party? Do you think Labour Party now should respond to such criticism?
No. Let me tell you, already Labour Party has an issue. That's the truth. But by right, the owners of Labour Party is the Nigerian Labour Congress. That's how it should be. But when I told you guys last time, our Papa came on board, he was brought in to scatter so many things about the Labour Party. And when he was removed from the way, Abu now turned to principalities and power. It became the problem of the party. Now you have stayed, you need to leave for new people to come in. He said he is the grand master of Labour Party. Till, they have been in court. So the Labour Party itself is in a confused state because I remember that the only governor who is the head of the party is Alex Oti, the governor of Abia State. He summoned some good people of Labour Party with great conscience and was able to bring on board Nemadi Usman, who was the former Minister of Finance, if I'm not mistaken. But Abure took them to court, so they have been in court to try to rectify all those things. Now, this is why Nigerians, we are where we are. A lot of people who are older than this country, a lot of people who have no better idea, in fact, they have no other business turning politics into a business,
exactly.
A stomach adjustment business, not even a business that will help the youth, that will remove our name from corruption. But every day by day, you see people infiltrated. Every problem you see that is going on in ADC, in Labour Party, somebody is somewhere cooking pouring fuel
into that. Okay.
So, and we all know where it's coming from.
Now, because I also wanted to ask you, you just said something that, with what we are seeing in Labour Party, and the way it is now, this is not how they were in 2023, to be honest, and the way it's shaky now internally, do you think that this is going to benefit APC? Of course it's going to benefit APC. To what measure do you think this will now benefit APC come 2027?
Well, they will definitely use it against, there are these people, they will definitely use it against, Labour Party. But apart from that, Labour Party have even said in one of their meetings that they are forging ahead. I think they according to them, they already have, the presidential candidate, the deputy.
Oh, they already have
that. They said in one of, but they don't want to disclose it to the public because of some, security, reasons best known to them. So they feel like they've stated that they are moving on from Obi because Obi is kind of one level.
Is it the entire Labour Party now?
Yes. I think it's one of their speakers came out one time. We even talked about it here on this table.
I just thought it was a faction of Labour Party.
No. I think it was something like that. I know we talked about it here. They said they have moved on from Obi, that Obi does not have a stand, and for the fact that they are having some internal crisis, and Obi didn't even address any of those crises, that it shows that he doesn't even care about the party. But like I said before, Obi is not at this point talking about or even concerned about party. The only thing that he's after is good leadership, better governance. That's what he's after.
All right.
But definitely other parties will leverage on.
Now, in 2027, with the presidential candidates, a presidential candidate pool without Mr. Peter Obi now, that Mr. Daniel, how do you think that will look like if Mr. Peter Obi does not run for the presidential election come 2027?
That's the truth.
Okay, I'm talking about voters' enthusiasm now in registering.
Definitely, the people are still going. All we know is that, see, once 2027 comes, people are going out to vote. Definitely, we must vote. But definitely, we're going to look out for the right candidates to vote for, irrespective of what APC has been doing to turn Nigeria into a one-party system, where everybody must fall in line with the ideology of APC. And it's not funny. They are now putting in molds in
different parties,
to bring the parties there. And the most important thing there is that not even important, the most annoying thing in the whole matter is that it's quite shameful that when you see people's father and mother, people whom should be being used to this, they think they are destabilizing the party, they're destabilizing the nation. Yes, because what they are doing in essence, when you keep destabilizing people, you're pushing the youth to call for revolution.
Like what happened in Nepal?
That is it. You're pushing the youth to call for revolution. You saw what happened in Nepal. They had to bring down all the whole government officials and now use their hand to say, this woman, you will be the president. They have to swear her in. So what we're trying to say is that APC should allow, if they have done well, let them allow people, Nigerian people,
to, yes.
Well, Ahmed Tinubu, the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria, has done well. There's no need to,
enforce it or push it down their throats.
Pushing people, to accept you. To do it doesn't work. Your work should be what will make people accept you.
Thank you. Well said, Mr. Daniel. Now, let us move on to the next story. With the issue of borrowing that we have been seeing in this recent administration and with the humongous amounts that we are owing in debt, the governor of Kaduna State has come out to pledge that he would complete the project in Kaduna State without borrowing. Now, I'm just asking, do you think that his claim is a viable economic strategy or is it political posturing?
Okay,
I actually think maybe there's possibility that he can achieve that, but at the same time, I feel that there are a lot of promises that have been made to Nigerians, and they don't see those promises coming to limelight that's happened over the years. So I think it's a welcome promise, it's a welcome development if he will truly do that. I mean, leaving borrowing aside and working on the already existing project you have at hand, I think that is good. But I think Nigeria equally have problem of when you, apart from promising and not keeping to the promise, you now build, because you don't want to borrow, you now build standard amenities for people. That is number one. And then number two, I still feel that the problem of the issue of maintaining those things that you've built might actually be a problem. Because if you don't have sources of revenue, if you just want to focus on generating income from tax and maybe other minor things, it might not really be enough to fix a lot of things. So I think if he can work on that, at the same time, it might actually, it might actually cause a shrink to the economy, in the sense that to generate more revenue from other areas. Because I mean, when you borrow, it helps you to channel this thing to other areas. But when you're just focused on one source of revenue, you might actually change the economy.
All right, thank you, Reformer, on that. Now, to you, Mr. Daniel, from the time that he came into power as governor in 2023, do we think, based on his precedent that he will keep to his word, or he will be able to, stand on that claim that they will continue all projects, leftover projects from past administration, new projects without borrowing a single naira? And if they want to do that, how do you think he can achieve something like that?
Well, it's all achievable. Any governor now in their states, different states of the federation, that goes on to borrow is a thief.
No.
Yes, is a thief, because the subsidy removal that this administration removed helped to boost the federal government allocation into states.
And in August, I'll just remind you that it was 2.2 trillion.
2.2 trillion that they all shared. You understand? Now, you have no reason. There was no basicity of Kaduna governor to gamble. Kaduna is a very big place. Kaduna IGRO can, it will keep them in check. It will keep them going because a lot of things happens. There are a lot of businesses in Kaduna.
Yes.
You understand? So the governor saying that he understands what it entails. If he wants to be, anybody who wants to be transparent will be. The governor of Anambra State has not borrowed 1 naira ever since. And he has been doing all massive projects. So it is an act of selfishness that state governors go out to borrow money because there are IGROs that they generate.
Yeah.
And you must live according to your budget. That is the truth. You must live according to your budget. So when you begin to seek to commit a lot of, commit crime, that is when they come on board and tell us they want to build infrastructure. Like the governor of Oyo State said he's going to borrow 300 billion. To do what? Do you know how many companies that are in Oyo State? So these are things that we all know, these politicians. We know the genuine ones, we know the ones that are not genuine.
Yes.
Now, take for instance, look at what the governor of Abia State is doing. Where has he borrowed the money from? Look at what the governor of Anambra is doing. He has never borrowed any money.
Enugu too.
So what it means is that if there are people with good conscience that have come to serve their people, while there are people who are only coming in to enrich themselves, and they will say, pata, we will go to EFCC, and they will grant him bail.
And to end there, to just
and it's going to end there. So if the Kaduna governor Obasani says they are not going to borrow to make sure everything, it shows that the internal generated IGRO is enough to service everything, to do the right thing, pay pensions, gratuity, workers, everything.
Pensions, yes.
Yes, and everything. Workers, pay the workers, pay all the staffs and everything. Definitely is going to be enough. And that's how we should be. If we are in a country where checks and balances work,
apply.
These whole things, all this level of corruption of people, going to borrow money, I don't understand. Nigeria is borrowing. Presidency is borrowing. State is borrowing. Tomorrow, local government is still going to borrow.
Okay, from the APC, let's take this from the political party point of view now. Do you think that with Governor Obasani coming out now to say that he's going to carry out all these projects and he won't borrow a single naira, do you think it's going to set a new trend for the APC party as a whole on a national level? Because you see other state governments from the APC doing the same borrowing. Now, do you think if he comes out now and is able to keep to his word, it will maybe somehow start a trend for the ruling party to stop borrowing?
Yes. If this could actually set, the pace to stop borrowing, then I think others should emulate from this, because people always emulate, things that are so inadequate or illegalities. But I think if they should actually look at this and see it, maybe they can actually borrow it as a form of, using that for campaign, that they will not borrow, or the people that insist, if they want to, maintain their position, they can equally say that they don't want to use that as a campaign strategy, that they don't want to borrow. But at the same time, I wanted to bring this to the table too. I think he has said this, we've heard this, but I think the citizens of the state, that state should actually post pose a more like strong monitoring team. They should be strict, monitoring team to make sure that these things that he said, if he's putting so amount of money to this particular project, he completes the project. They should see the timelines, and there should be deadlines on those particular projects. I mean, it should be open. Let everybody see that he's actually doing those things that he's supposed to do.
Transparency, yes. Lastly, Mr. Daniel, and also to you, Ifoma, you made mention of the fact that the IGR of the states can even be enough to fund these projects in a state without them having to even look outside. Now, what of some states that their IGR are not so great? Do you think this will be applicable for those states as well?
Definitely, when you check, there are states that their IGR is nothing to write home about. Definitely, they have to look at you have to check what that I should do that would not affect me or allow, make me to go out to borrow excessively. Now, we didn't say borrowing is wrong. If you're borrowing for the right thing, it is fine. Now, not just thinking of borrowing, because when you borrow, you have to phantom out how to do the repayment plan. It's very important.
Yeah.
Because not everybody rushing out to go and borrow. Last time when we have Bwala as the Minister of Economy and Budget here, I remember when Adams Oshomole wanted to borrow money for Edo State as a governor, and the woman refused because she needed to endorse. So no, that the money you're going to borrow in the next 20-something years, Edo State won't be able to pay off that debt. So you must look at the repayment plan. You must look at the percentage. When the governor of Anambra State came in, the House of Assembly approved 100 billion for him to borrow. He looked at it as an economist and as a man who has handled Nigerian CBN. He said no. He rejected the loan offer. He said, if we do this, the Anambra people are going to suffer. That's what he said. And that was why that loan didn't fly.
That's how he died.
So definitely, these are the things they must check. Now, when you are in a state where you know that your IGR is nothing to write home about, you have to work according to the allocation you get. Then if there are few things you need to add, then you add. But what we're saying no to is excessive borrowing without any meaningful use of it. We're saying no to it.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, Mr. Daniel.
I probably say the same thing in this particular thing, because excessive borrowing without channeling it to the right areas is totally wrong. So if they don't have other sources of generating revenue, then I think the money that is being allocated to them by the federal government, they should minimize it. And I think there is no way they cannot find a way out. There are so many, avenues to generate money. We were talking about one particular thing where the federal government was planning on, legalizing cannabis.
Yes.
You understand? There are so many ways that we can generate this. And when you kind of invest in businesses, there are so many returns that will come out from there. When you invest in health, structure, there are so many revenues that can come out from there. When you invest in education, so many places where you can generate revenue. So it's only sitting down and thinking, properly, if the places that you can, get those revenues from. So
all right, thank you very much, Ifoma and Mr. Daniel Sacramento. We're just going to touch briefly on the trending video that is going on online right now with the Anambra APC gubernatorial candidate in person of Prince Nicholas Ukachukwu, where he was being harassed at Transcorp Hilton over his 1 billion naira debt. And this happened before now. And this morning we're hearing that there's even a protest going on because of the same debt that he is owing. Let's take a quick look at this video and then return to the studio.
You want to run for governor and your own people. You are running for governor and your own people. Pay us our money. Anambra people reject you. Anambra people reject this man. His own people. Anambra people reject you. Anambra, you're owing us $1 billion. You're owing us. You're owing us $1 billion. Pay us our money. Pay us our money.
We just saw that video now, and this video has gone viral. And I'm asking you, Mr. Daniel, for the Anambra gubernatorial elections that is coming up, with everything that has been going on, people are saying a whole lot of things, but from your own perspective, owing 1 billion naira, and he has not even come out to address this issue, what is your general take on this?
Well, it's quite an unfortunate incident that is avoidable. Well, owing is part of business, but when it becomes a norm, it becomes a bad thing. Prince Nicholas Ukachukwu is the gubernatorial aspirant of All Progressive Congress.
Yes.
Now, our president is owing. He too went to borrow money.
Oh, is that
owing 100 and our this is going. Yes, we have to look at it. It's still APC.
Yes.
So we have to understand.
He's learning from.
Yes. So the truth about it is that people should be careful when you are coming out for elective position.
Public positions.
Public positions. You have to be extremely careful.
Check your background.
You have to look at your background. You have to look at things that will work against you. You fix them up. Senator Andioba had the same issue with Heritage Bank when he was coming out for election as well. So I don't want to say it's now a habit of APC. I don't want to say that. But the issue is that Prince Nicholas Ukachukwu had this issue with a man before. The video is viral as well, where the man came at the front of his gate and stripped himself naked, without boxers and everything, and laid curses on him. That he has been owing a big man, very rich man, did this.
Wow.
So it has become a norm. Now, if you know you had an issue with people, you needed to sort it out without it, degenerating to the way it was. But when you give people attitude because you're carrying security men and all this stuff, people will fight you because they're talking about people's money. Hard-earned money. So if I were him, this unfortunate incident wouldn't have happened because you were already in a hotel. So what you would have done is to go to the lobby, ask them to come in and speak, address them, tell them what they need to hear.
Yeah.
And now the mindset of Anambra now is that if this man is giving this, so he will not be using Anambra state money to pay off his debt.
Yes.
So it's a very sorry situation.
And they can't have that happening.
No, that's the thing. And this alone, if it is the country where things work, is enough to disqualify him.
Yeah.
Because this is a public disgrace. It shouldn't happen. So it now brings us to, do they normally do the DSS check on the candidates? Because we need a lot of background checks before giving out tickets to people. And remember, he was not supposed to be the gubernatorial aspirant of APC because he came from the back. Maybe that was when he bought the.
Okay, you just the 1 billion.
No, he bought a car.
Okay.
And some other issues they have that has to do with land development and all this stuff. So, but what I'm saying is, I'm not making jest of it, but he would have handled this maturely.
Yes.
He wouldn't, he would have settled this matter even before coming to pick the ticket. Since you already have this ambition of becoming the governor of Anambra State, you would have gone on board to check those things, little things that's going to create issues for you, and clear them off.
Thank you, Mr. Daniel. Well said. Ifoma, your take?
Yeah, it's still the same thing that I'm going to say. I mean, leaders in Nigeria, some leaders or most leaders in Nigeria have serious integrity issues. You know, I don't see a reason whereby you want to manage a state, billions in a state, whereby you're owing, you know, billions to you know, to some persons, and it resulted to them coming out publicly to ridicule you. It speaks of how, you know, you've dented your integrity and your image to the public at large. And I still ask the same thing. Why is it that you come out like it took Rona Begi? What you would think about is how to come out for a leadership position whereby when you know that you don't have a clean slate, when you know that you have stains in your, you know, white. You are supposed to be, I mean, when people check your records, they won't see anything to question. That's what it's supposed to be. People are supposed to say, oh, this person's record is clean, so why don't we, kind of support him? That is, you know, number one. And then number two, if probably this is more like what the other party are actually using to, you know, tarnish his image so that people will not support him. I think he should equally clear himself. If he's not owing this loan, let him prove it that he's not owing the loan. If he's owing and he has cleared the loan, let him equally prove that he has cleared the loan.
So what you're saying, he should publicly address the public on his stance in the matter. Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel Sacramento. Thank you, Ifoma Oji, for doing this with me. Wonderful conversation as always. To our VIP viewers, thank you again for joining us. As always, we see your comments, your likes, and your shares, and I'm encouraging you to keep it up. If you're yet to follow us across all social media platforms, what are you waiting for? Follow us at Active Citizens and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you're informed when we go live. Find me on my personal page at Sharon Nmchuku Ifoma.
You can find me on Facebook at Oji Sophia and on Instagram at Miss Alex.
And you can find Mr. Daniel
always
in the studio. All right, till now. I see you tomorrow. For morning calls. Do have a good evening.